What's going on YouTube? So we're standing next to a new Jeep tonight with a familiar name, but absolutely everything else about this is completely new. This is the Jeep Wagoneer S. The S signifying that this is the first all-electric Jeep with a sleek design and a 0 to 60 of only 3.4 seconds. But let's not waste any time, let's go ahead and take a first look at this futuristic new Jeep. All right, so let's start things off here with the exterior design. Now, this obviously is going to be a big departure. This is certainly not the Wrangler that you've owned for decades. It's going to have a very sleek look. And that's not just in the overall appearance, it is also practical because this is a 0.29 coefficient of drag. So it's very sleek and aerodynamic, which is going to help with that overall range figure. We'll talk about that later. But in terms of the design, what you'll notice is that we have this modern take on those signature Jeep cues. So of course, every Jeep has got to have that nice 7-slat grille, but this is going to be basically entirely sealed off because this is an electric product. And Jeep actually uses lighting to kind of make the overall shape. So you'll notice you have the light bar that runs across the front, and this can give you a sequential animation that actually runs all the way across the grille. Now, speaking of lighting, we also have very sleek looking LED headlights running right through there. That light bar continues for your daytime running light and turn signal indicator. And then down in the lower fascia here, we do have LED fog lights integrated in and 6.4 inches of ground clearance. So it certainly has a little less ground clearance than your average Jeep does. Now moving on to our wheels, we do have a 20-inch alloy wheel with a nice gloss black finish. I do want to point out that at launch, this is the launch edition. So this is going to be the only version that you can get originally. There will be more versions later on. One of the things I do like about this look is the fact that they have matched the gloss black finish on the wheels to the wheel arches. They're also kind of squared off there to give it a little bit more of a chiseled appearance. Now as we go kind of back here, we're going to notice we have Wagoneer branding. And as far as our mirrors, these are going to be fully loaded with all the features on this launch edition. So that's going to include power folding, auto dimming, blind spot monitoring, and heating.
Now here at the side, you are once again going to see that sleek shape take hold of the overall design language. It comes in at an overall length of 192.4 inches long, which is about an inch shorter than something like a Grand Cherokee for reference. Now in terms of design elements, you will notice that we do have a completely flush door handle design, and we also are going to have a two-tone blacked out roof as a nice sporty touch for this Wagoneer S. Now, as we head around to the rear design of this vehicle, let me go ahead and go over to this side and let you get a good look at it. Now, this, of course, is going to have a very unique overall shape to it. Once again, going to be a lot sleeker than some of the other Jeep products in the lineup. So you'll notice that up here at the top, we have a fully blacked out spoiler, and this actually allows air to flow completely through from the roof all the way down to once again help you get that coefficient of drag. We additionally have another little lip spoiler through here. And then as far as our taillights are concerned, these are going to be a full LED setup. As you can see, we have some LED accenting going on there. We have an LED reverse light and turn signal indicator. And I do want to point out that some of the panel gaps on this model, it is a pre-production unit, so do be aware of that. Now, as we head down, you'll notice that we have 4xe branding, and then we also have a really nice piano black for your lower fascia. As far as the tow rating, it's going to be 3,400 pounds. Now, when it comes to your safety systems, you wouldn't expect a very expensive and nice vehicle like this to not have your entire gamut, and indeed it is going to have all of your safety systems that you would expect, including a new active driving assistant. But guys, there's a really cool interior that we need to go ahead and check out, so let's dive into that. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
All right, let's go ahead and climb inside now. Mason was mentioning earlier, this does have the flush mount door handles. So what you'll do is just kind of reach behind here and press that little sensor, and that will open up the door. And now that I have opened up the door, well, take a look at that cabin. We have a really beautiful design. Compared to the exterior, the interior does have more influence from the regular Wagoneer model, but there are a lot of exclusive and futuristic touches. Let's kind of dig in. We'll start with the seats themselves. So one of the things you're noticing is probably the color right off the bat. We have an exclusive red interior. This is a beautiful look. I really like the way that this is both on the door trim as well as the seats and all around the cabin. Now this is a leather-free interior, so this is called Sicily Leatherette, and even though it is not a real leather, it feels really, really nice. It's super soft and supple, and I love the stitching details and color contrast piping. Now in terms of the seats themselves, as you can see, we have a lot of adjustment. We even have a power thigh extension, and these are massaging seats on the Launch Edition. But let's go ahead and climb inside. And now that we've climbed inside, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the cabin materials. Now Jeep has brought some innovative materials. A lot of these things are derived from recycled objects, for example. And let's start over here on the door trim. We do have a leatherette over on this part of the armrest. You have a textured aluminum trim that runs through the center section, and then a leatherette along the top part of the door trim. Now as we move to the top part of the dashboard, this again will all be finished in a leatherette material. We have more of this textured aluminum running through the center section, all in one big, nice, seamless piece. And then this right here is something special that I really like. Around the shifter and all the center console area, we have a cool material. This is actually made of zinc, so it's kind of a stone-like material that feels really good and looks very nice. Now, you probably saw we got the big power button right there, so that's actually how you will start up this model. Just put your foot on the brake and press that button right there to fire it up. Now, like Mason was saying, on the outside, this is a pre-production model, so not everything is going to be fully the way that you're going to see it in the future, but let's go ahead and talk about some of the individual details. I want to start off with our gauge cluster. So we got the 12.3 inch gauge cluster. This is playing a part of kind of the larger system of screens. So this model is going to come with 45 inches of overall display. So that's absolutely phenomenal and gives basically everybody in the cabin access to some kind of display. This, of course, is fully customizable like it is in all of the other Jeep products. We also have a nice big head-up display as well. Now, in terms of our steering wheel, we have a very nice and unique looking steering wheel. This is kind of squared off on the top and the bottom, and it is a two-spoke design with leather on the airbag cover. The wheel itself is going to be power, tilt, and telescoping. I'm also noticing that we have unique switchgear as well to just this model. Now, let's take a look at interior storage real fast. If I pop open our center console here, you're going to see a nice big console here. It's nice and felt lined as well. By the way, we do have, it looks to be the same kind of key fob as the other Jeep models, and we have a wireless phone charging pad right there. And we have two cup holders and another key fob. That's interesting. And in front of that, you have a secret spot. So you just see this little slot right here. It looks like there's really not much here, but I can actually push this display out of the way, and then boom, I have this huge hidden storage compartment, which is also completely felt lined and has more USB ports. Now, as far as the shifter, you can see we have this really cool metal rotary shifter for drive and reverse. When you go into reverse, that's going to give you the 360-degree camera system, as you would expect. And let's kind of turn our attention back here to this display. So you saw when I let that back out, it brought in our climate controls. That's because this is actually how we can control the climate system. So not every part of this, again, is going to be fully functional, but you get the gist. You'll have your climate controls right through there. This is also where we can actually control various seat functions, such as our driver and passenger massage as well. Now, rising above, we come to another display. This is, again, 12.3 inch display. This is running Uconnect 5.0, and it has, importantly, wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay abilities, as well as integrated navigation. Now, you also, on the side here, have controls for your heated and ventilated seats, as well as your heated steering wheel, and then a volume knob for the Macintosh sound system. So this Launch Edition is going to come with an exclusive 19-speaker Macintosh sound system. So this, of course, is going to give you a very high-end audio experience from its 1200 watts of power. All right, now as we kind of wrap up the front of the cabin, we have an auto dimming mirror. This of course is a digital camera rear view mirror, giving you yet another display. And then up top here, we've got our HomeLink universal remotes. You'll also notice that we have a very nice suede headliner, which will go all the way across through the back, giving you that premium feel, and then a very large panoramic sunroof as well.
Now let's talk about the rear seat area for this Wagoneer S. Now you're probably curious as to what those exterior dimensions translate to when it comes to interior space. A good amount of space, about 38 inches of legroom, about 37.5 inches of headroom, which places it very similar to something like a Grand Cherokee. Overall, it feels like I have a ton of legroom. The headroom may be a little bit tight for those of you that are a lot taller than I am. I'm 5'9" for reference. Now, as far as the features are concerned, let's dive into this because there are a lot of features that are standard equipment on this Wagoneer S. As you've seen in the front, you have a lot of standard features, and that's going to continue back here. We have vents as standard. We also have three-stage heated and three-stage ventilated seats standard on all Wagoneer S models. We also have a household outlet, 2 charging USB-C ports, and we can fold down our center armrest. It does have 2 cup holders inside. The door trim in the rear is going to be made of the same really nice materials, leather on pretty much all of it, and you have the really nice ambient lighting system going on the door trim as well to give you that cool overall feel. And now let's go ahead and dive into the cargo dimensions of this Wagoneer S. Now, it does have a fully power tailgate, as you would expect. And then as far as the cargo dimensions are concerned, we're sitting at about 30 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats. If we fold those seats down, which they do fold 60-40 split, by the way, you're going to have a maximum of around 61 cubic feet. That's about 10 cubic foot less than a Jeep Grand Cherokee for reference, and it's going to be pretty much on par with a lot of the other EVs on the market when it comes to cargo capacity. Now, of course, this is a very quick, brief first look, so we don't have time to get all of our measuring devices out, but we do look forward to sampling this out more extensively later on where we can bring those numbers in. But we're not done yet because there is actually a frunk on this Wagoneer S. So yes, you do have a frunk in this Wagoneer S. It's going to be about 3 cubic feet of overall space, so not an incredible amount, but certainly enough for you to fit fast food and things like that in this Wagoneer S.
Now let's talk a little bit about the powertrain and overall performance. So this, of course, is Jeep's first full electric product, and what you're going to find is a 100.5 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery pack forming the foundation of the vehicle. Now this is going to be paired with a full-time active all-wheel drive system, which is made up of a dual electric motor setup. Now, total system power on this is extremely impressive. We're looking at 600 horsepower and 617 pound-feet of torque. That's good for a 0 to 60 of about 3.4 seconds according to Jeep. So this is going to be a very fast machine. Now, in terms of range, that's the other big number when it comes to an electric vehicle. We're going to be looking at over 300 miles. We don't have a full figure quite yet, but Jeep expects this to be over 300 miles for the launch edition. Now this is going to be using a 400 volt electric architecture. So that means your DC fast charge rates are going to take you from 20 to 80% in about 23 minutes. And then on your level 2 charging, 5 to 80% would be able to be achieved in about 6.8 hours, which is worth noting that is going to be slower than some competitive electric vehicles on the market right now.
And let's go ahead and talk about pricing as well as availability for this model. So since we are just launching with the one trim level, we're starting at $71,995. That is before destination. But one of the important things worth noting is that Jeep has confirmed that this vehicle will qualify for the tax credit. So that's, of course, going to further reduce your price tag down, hopefully, depending on your tax situation. So a pretty expensive vehicle, but overall a pretty good value for what you're getting. As far as availability, Jeep says this will be available in fall of 2024. So you have to wait probably around 6 more months, depending on where you're at, if you want to get one of these Wagoneer S models. And if you're looking to buy a Jeep Wagoneer S or any new vehicle, we would encourage you to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, the reason you do that is because we have a tool on our website that will connect you with local car dealers in your area to get you the best price. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealership negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, link is provided in our video description, and there's also a pinned comment at the top of this video. And that's going to be where we leave off on this in-depth review of the all new Jeep Wagoneer S. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, not only are you going to get more car content like this, you're also going to be a part of our Car Confections family. We make a lot of car reviews that I'm sure you won't want to miss out on, and we also have a lot of fun. So do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.